Hey guys, Miranda Mantico's here, psychic channeler for Divine Feminine Collective, Christ, Mother Mary, Thoth, Sekhmet, and the Hathors. Just want to see if anyone else is noticing in your dreams the just people from your past popping in. Okay. Now, for me, when I'm on a timeline in my dreams that I'm assisting, or if it's not a dream and it's just a like an astral traveling or message or something from my guides that needs to come through, the energy of the dream or the vision will feel different. Okay, but that being said, are you noticing different people from your past popping into your dreams? Okay. When this happens, I feel it has many meanings. Okay, sometimes I think you're being called to heal, right? To heal something with you in that person. Other times it may be a message of them crossing over, of course, that can happen. But in this instance, what I dreamed last night was it was several people, like old friends that I haven't seen in years, and everyone had made it to this place, which was kind of like a recreational center. And the light was very bright and pretty there, by the way, so it had great energy. There were still some like unresolved issues, but it was overall good. Does that make sense? Now, when I get a vision like this, I will dissect this for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months. But just right off the bat, okay? I want to say a couple of things about this that you may or may not have noticed, okay, if this is happening to you. First of all, the place is bright, higher light, higher frequency, right? Second of all, everybody makes it there, technically, okay? Now, I didn't see everybody, but I'm just saying there's a scattered various people there, right? Like some from my presence now, like my present life now, others from the past, others that I don't even know in this current timeline. So everyone makes it there, and it's a game, right? Like it's a recreational place where everyone's just having fun, basically. The other thing that was interesting was there were still some unresolved issues. Okay, so the reason I say that is there was like one girl in the dream, and I don't even know who she was, but she kind of like ran off crying in the dream, and I was like, oh, why is she crying? You know, like what's going on? Well, for me, like my download on all of this, by the way, like this whole thing that I'm rambling on about, is there are many of us, maybe not a whole lot, but that are already in that 5D frequency, some higher than the 5D frequency. There are definitely beings on this planet that are higher than that frequency, okay? But as far as the collective, there are a group that I feel are already there, okay? But there's still these like unresolved little issues. And so I think this is relevant because if you really have been working on your spiritual journey and you've been doing really the necessary shadow work, facing your fears, facing your deepest emotions, the deepest wounds, your childhood wounds, if you've been in therapy for years, if you've been working on your spiritual therapy for years, and you really have done the work, okay, you should be starting to feel some relief right now, like some relief, not just in all of your own personal healing, but in the collective. As odd as this may sound right now, you should start feeling some relief, okay? I feel like the little bit of just unresolved, that little bit of unresolved is just letting us know something my guides told me a couple years ago was sometimes we have the memory of struggle or the memory of pain or the memory of the lower frequency, and that's like a glitch in the system or the quantum field or the matrix, whatever you want to call it, where we remember what it was like to struggle, and so we keep reinventing that or bringing it back up, or we keep remembering the sadness or whatever, the thing is that might be blocking you from fully being where you want to be. And so when we recognize that the pain is just a memory, we can begin to really adjust. By the way, when I said that, everything just kind of went blurry for a second. So it's really relevant. Okay. So when you are really working to heal the body, to heal the mind, or to awaken your spiritual senses, all of your extra senses, whatever your reason is for this journey, just remember what I said about the memory of things, right? The memory can manifest in your reality if you continue to feel that it's still happening. That's why past life regression work and QHHT and things like that are so important, because these other timelines are like memories, right? They're all happening at the same time, but we look at them like they're in the past. But it doesn't matter, because it affects the present body, because time is not real. And so since time is not real, if we keep living on a memory, then we're bringing that to the present time. Similarly, living in the future, right, is not actually always helpful either, because we're bringing our energy into a place where we are not yet there, right? So getting really, really present is the key to that next little level of nuance that remains to be experienced or felt, okay? So I'm going to call it a nuance, because that's what it felt like, because overall the whole vision was good and everyone was there and it was so good to see everyone, right? And it was a joyful experience, except I was worried about that one girl that was crying, So in this moment, as I'm saying it, the download I'm getting for that is, it's those subtle nuances that we're looking for that we don't yet see, but it's because the mind is still going back to the memory of the 3D, right? So it's like a person that has grown up in struggle. I grew up in struggle, okay? So I can use myself as an example. And all their life, that's all they knew. Well, that is what they will continue to create until they experience something different. And so if we looked at the collective and applied that lesson to the collective, we must begin to learn another way, a way that is not struggle, okay? By the way, this is why I think it's super important to pay attention to the healed, and I'm going to say healed, and blessed ancestors and indigenous tribes, okay? So healed and blessed, because keep in mind, not every person in the realm is healed. We're all doing our work, right? So you really always want to look to the guidance of someone who is where you want to be, right? Whether that's in prayer or meditation or even in your daily life. I mean, this is also a business concept, right? Any good business coach can tell you that you align yourself with someone that is successful, right? That has done what you want to do. So similarly, when we're looking to grow spiritually, we're looking to align with those who have done it. This is why we reach for the ascended masters, or really we look for them within, right? When we access the Christ, when we access the Buddha, when we access Mary Magdalene or Thoth, we're looking for those who have mastered this, okay? But in our realm, like in your everyday life, this is also why we need to really pay attention to the healed indigenous population. And by healed, I mean those wisdom keepers of the tribes, right? Those shaman and shawomen and priests and priestesses, and those who are aware of the spiritual situation here. Because they're going to have those clues. And this is also why the indigenous ways were attacked for so long. Because those ways reconnected us to the realm and healed our body, awakened us, and showed us our ability to create and manifest, right? So as we rise into these higher levels of consciousness, we need to know that that is the way. That is, if you look at it like we came back from Atlantis, we came back from the future, back to the future, okay? If we came back from the future to fix this, then we can embrace technology. We can embrace AI. That's not necessarily a terrible thing, but we will do it with balance. We will do it with nature, in alignment with nature. We will no longer do it in a way that harms the planet. Okay? So this is just what I'm feeling right now as a coming together happens, this coming together. It's really going to require so much love and acceptance, letting go of your fears, letting go of fearing something different from you, or someone different from you, or a culture that's different from you. And really, really start to see yourself as an ambassador, which is what we are. And as an ambassador to humanity, how can you bridge these worlds? How can we come together? How can we create the vision that I saw, where everyone comes together in this game of life and it all works out, and we just have some subtle nuances to fix, and we're there. Okay? So a lot of food for thought here. I definitely feel like if you are blessed enough to live near or to know someone who is really really into those sacred teachings and like has access to the knowledge of the sacred teachings of any tribe, okay, see if what you can learn. Start digging. There's so much you could read. I actually went to the library recently, and there were so many books on the major tribes of indigenous people that live in our area. I myself am a descendant of the Choctaw Nation on one side of my family, so I was researching the Choctaw, but it could, any tribe that you're interested in. The reason why this is important, and it can be even the European tribes, okay, like the Druids are of interest to me as well. It's okay, just pick one and start studying their belief system. It doesn't mean that everything they believed is accurate or true. That's not the point. The point is these people were connected, okay? They were spiritually connected, and they knew what it took to clear their channel. So if you're looking to get that clear channel and you haven't gone the path of like a session with someone like me, and you want to do this on your own, you do this in nature, naturally. You go out in nature and the mind just starts to quiet, and everything doesn't seem important anymore. All the worries, all the fears, all the things, all the rumble doesn't matter. So this is something that the tribes, they know this, okay? They know about our connection to Mother Earth. And they also know a lot of things that are surfacing right now, a lot. So I just think there's so much ancient wisdom there. I'm really purposely being a little bit vague because I don't want to put it in a box, right? I just want everybody to have their way of how they like to connect. But these are just suggestions. Does that make sense? Because I feel like, we're each kind of getting where we're going our own way. But I do think that could help, and it could accelerate your journey. It has helped my journey. So anyway, that's what I dreamed last night. I'm not giving like every single little detail of the dream, but you get the overall message is that we're all getting there. We really are. There's just some things we need to work on. But I think that those things are going to be directly tied to release of fear, okay? And as soon as we let go of fear, we can actually, I'm hearing like we're going to grow by leaps and bounds. So, and I, even someone like me who can hear these guides, or you may be able to hear guides too, you might be a channeler, we still have our things that we have to deconstruct, right? I'm sure you've heard the expression that the greatest learning is the unlearning, okay? So let's begin to unlearn whatever is not love, okay? If it's not love, just start letting it go. Ask yourself every single thing, every single belief that you have, just ask, is this love? Am I acting in love? Am I vibing from love? Am I actually giving love? If not, be willing to surrender it as an old 3D way of thinking that no longer serves you and really isn't you anyway. And would your higher self even support that thought? Okay, so that's going to help us all to deal with those things. And I feel like as we each look within and really evaluate ourselves and are willing to see our shadow self and the things that we've struggled with, and love it and thank it, and just have a heart full of gratitude for what it has taught us. This is when those little nuances that I saw in the dream of the girl crying, if she represents a part of all of us, I think this is how we're going to heal it. Does that make sense? So anyway, I love you guys. I hope this helps someone. I really, really want to get better about sharing when I have these visions, just taking the time to make a little video, just because you never know, who might benefit from it. I know a lot of times when we have these visions, sometimes it's just for us, but that one felt like something for everybody because it was a collective of people, So I love you guys. I hope you're having an awesome day.